Yeah, look, Nexia, we're based in Perth and we are members of a national and international network of accounting firms. But look, essentially we advise, work closely with business owners. We're independently owned and operated here in Perth, and I'm one of the directors in the business advisory division. So I think, look, in terms of the sort of sectors and industries that we work with, it's a very much mixed bunch. It's across manufacturing, construction, distribution, engineering, bit of agribusiness, retail, hospitality, the usual sort of culprits. Yeah, working closely with the business owners at the moment, as you can imagine, with all the recent stresses and strains that have impacted them. And I think having been in the industry and the accounting profession for the last 30 years and a business owner myself, it's really sort of critical to be working closely with the clients at this time. Yeah, fundamentally, we take the business owners on that journey from whether they're growing, scaling up, looking to exit, looking to just manage their wealth and maintain the value. We're able to surround that client with various aspects of what the business or what they personally need. Yeah, very interesting times, to say the least. I think if I reflect on certainly the clients that I've worked with over the last 6 months or so, March was the shock to the system, and clients pretty much went on a bit of a meltdown. Things just stopped. So March and April were pretty quiet. But then I think there was a fairly swift rebound in terms of, this isn't, or this can't be the way it's going to be forever. We've got a choice here. We can start to work forward and look at what potentially could lie ahead for us as a business and clients as a business. And those initial stimulus measures certainly helped in terms of keeping client businesses and their heads above water. And in WA, what we've seen is a pretty good recovery. I don't think we're out of the woods yet, but there's a lot of positive responses that have occurred. Businesses are going okay. Some are going more than okay, and it's really given business owners that chance to almost reset. I've seen this initial kind of shock, and it's like a big slap around the face where business owners have been jolted into oh, crikey, what do we do? What do we do now? And as I say, some businesses have come out and are doing incredibly well at the moment, in light of the circumstances. Yeah, I think there's been certainly in the construction space and infrastructure-related projects where clients have been fortunate to win contracts in that sort of space, and these are medium to longer term contracts, so that's giving some element of certainty to those businesses. There was a bit of I think as well off the back of some of the stimulus measures that were put in place, things like the housing market given a little bit of a boost. So there was a bit of a blip there back in sort of June time. How long that will last, time will tell. Even in the hospitality space, for sure there's been a struggle there, but the clients their responses have been quite interesting in terms of looking at how they can actually effectively run their business differently. Been a bit more agile, turning their hands to new things, take away and continue with certain services and different menus, different opening hours. There is demand there for those, a refreshed set of services, if you like. Engineering has been another area that seems to be pretty strong at the moment. So yeah, there's lots of good stuff happening, and I think if I am to put my finger on, is there anything in particular as to why one business has gone well over another? And it's probably the attitude of the business owners themselves, being able to rebound and pick themselves up. Yeah, it is. I mean, we've got, the mining services is still a big sector, and anyone in that sort of supply chain, are benefiting from that. But take tourism, for example. I think Margaret River at the moment, their sort of accommodation books are full for the next few months, and people are even thinking ahead into the summer around, better start booking now down in Margaret River, or even up in the northwest in Broome, having a really good season. I would sum it up by saying I think clients are being cautiously optimistic. So whilst there's a bit of sort of riding the wave at the moment in terms of the business is okay, it's pretty good at the moment for a number of clients. That positivity, thrives. Positivity tends to drive positivity, but there's also, I think, at the back of the mind that not being complacent about it either. So managing cash really well, making sure there's a war chest there, making sure there's a crisis management team in place for that plan B, to mobilise if necessary. So there is optimism, but it's measured, and clients are being sensible. We're working with clients around those very sort of short-term headlights on what's potentially around the corner. We've got the stimulus measures tapering back from September. So really playing with some of those sort of scenarios to see what could possibly occur in the next few months. I think, beyond that, who knows? It's, gone are the days really of the more longer term planning at this stage. Yeah, the skills shortage, getting the right people, I think is part of the challenge. I think there is a restriction on the mobility of people, so being able to recruit from overseas, as has been the case in the past, where there's particular skill sets required, or a specialism. There's only a limited amount of people that are able to deliver with those sort of skills. So not being able to go elsewhere other than WA at the moment for that skill set is one of the challenges. In terms of funding, it's currently, I think funding's been an interesting one. Because you've got the ATO that are being fairly lenient at the moment in terms of supporting businesses around their tax liabilities, giving them long-term time to pay. So, going on to payment plans to help ease and manage that cash flow has been extremely helpful at this current time. Banks as well, in terms of that unsecured lending to support businesses with cash flow for their working capital. So, there's been this I think general feeling of just understanding that we're all in this together. So just being able to lean and on and help each other through these times from a cash perspective. So funding, I haven't seen so much of an issue. I think the state stimulus measures have worked well and done their job. Other aspects, supply chain. Yes, in part, there's certainly a slowing down of that supply chain and things taking longer to arrive, longer to be delivered. But again, I think there seems to be a sense of understanding, where something would ordinarily perhaps come in a week and it's taking 6 to 8 weeks. there's no pressure on the consumer or the customer, you know, kind of going, oh, I'll go elsewhere, because, you know, at the end of the day, there's nowhere else to go. Yeah, so you know, the businesses are not too badly impacted because of that, you know, that delay. But again, this is, you know, this is very short-term thinking, and, you know, what's around the corner in terms of impacting more medium to long term, you know, so very difficult to forecast and to see what that could be. Yes, it was, I remember we talk now about pre-COVID and post-COVID, and I remember the pre-COVID moment and the point that we had to mobilise our team and work from home. So it was mid-March, and it was shortly after the St Patrick's Day corporate lunch, the IACC lunch here in Perth at the Crown, and there was the and I think we were one of the last functions to have the 500 people in a room, and the date was Friday the 13th of March. So yeah, I remember it well. So the following week was when it was, you know, it got serious, and yeah, we put our mobilisation plans into action. Look, we're as a firm ourselves, we've been cloud-based for a number of years, so it was pretty much a plug-and-play situation. You know, the team took their laptops home and you know, set up with a few more monitors and plugged themselves in, and away we went. Probably oversimplifying if you spoke to our IT manager here, but no, the team did really, really well. And so we worked remotely for about 8 or 9 weeks, and came back in mid-May. So we were pretty quick off the mark to work from home. But then as soon as the restrictions started to lift, we were pretty quick to get everybody back in. You know, our culture here is very much, you know, is team playing. And whilst we've always had flexible working, and there's, you know, been a bit of a balance as people have sort of have found they've either worked effectively from home, but you know, or just adapted to newfound circumstances. But yeah, we're back in from May, and touch wood, you know, that continues to be the case. And yeah, clients were pretty pleased to be able to see us again face to face, and you know, and out at client premises, as well as you know, clients coming into the office. So so yeah, I think, you know, it's certainly been recognised how fortunate we are there.